Most people think there's only one level to dreaming, but that is completely wrong. Hey guys, Morg here, and we're going to discuss the 4 levels of dreams. This topic is super important, and if you're new here, this is the only channel that shows you how to reach a new level of consciousness rationally and without the bullshit. So subscribe right now and hit the bell to turn on all notifications. There are 4 different dream levels. We're going to explore each one right now, and the 4th level, the deepest level, is the most insane. And virtually no one knows that it even exists. So let's jump right into it and get to the first level, consciousness and the personal unconscious. Why do we even have dreams? We have them because our body is attuned to take in stimulus and information, and while we are awake, we are taking in information from the outer world. So your mind is taking in all the information and data from the external world, everything you can touch, taste, hear, see, and smell, and from that information, your mind constructs your experience of the outer world around you. One of your mind's top priorities is to construct a world around you based on the information that it receives. But when you go to sleep and close your eyes and dream at night, you're no longer receiving information from the external world. But your mind still wants to construct a universe for you to experience. So dreams occur when your mind switches from constructing a world from the information from the external world to the information of your internal world. In other words, your mind wants to construct a world for you, and it's no longer pulling information from the outer world, so it turns to your inner world, your own mind, to pull the information from which it uses to construct a world. So the first dream level is a world that's constructed from the information of your consciousness and your personal unconscious. The world that you experience in the first dream level will be composed of schemas, your conscious information, and your personal unconscious. A schema is simply a set of attributes that you give to a given concept. For example, let's say I say the word doctor. When I say doctor, that concept elicits a bunch of attributes in your mind. You might associate doctor with white lab coat, health, a doctor's office. All these things are different attributes of the schema doctor that you have in your mind. So in the first level of dreaming, your mind is operating on schemas. So let's say that you have a dream about a doctor. What associations come with doctors? A doctor, a white lab coat, a doctor's office, but then you have another schema of office, which might include a receptionist, which might include a computer, which might include a virus. So your mind automatically generates these schemas in association. Doctor might lead to doctor's office, which might lead to receptionist, which might lead to a computer, which might lead to a virus. So you might be having a dream about being in a doctor's office where the receptionist is freaking out because she has a virus on her computer, and this is being generated by different associations of the mental schemas that you have in your mind. It's almost like your mind is playing free association. Not only is the first level made up of schemas, but it's also made up of content from your consciousness and your personal unconscious. And your consciousness is just made up of everything that you are consciously aware of. People you know, events in your life, things that are happening, everything that's going on in your world. Your personal unconscious is made up of content that is in your mind, but that you aren't consciously aware of, that you've forgotten about. Maybe a memory that you have, or a stress or anxiety that is underneath, but you're really not aware of. And the thing about this level of dreaming is that it's generally superficial in that there's not too many deep symbolic things happening. What it means is usually apparent and has to do with things that are going on in your life. For example, if you're dreaming about the fact that you're in a doctor's office, it might be because you have a doctor's appointment next week that you're stressed about. If you're dreaming about the fact that you're mad at your girlfriend, it might be because you really are just mad at your girlfriend. That doesn't mean that you can't learn anything from this level of dreaming. You absolutely can. It can highlight those things in your life that are going on right now that you need to pay more attention to and resolve. The point is, at this level, it's a little more random and a little more obvious as to what the meaning may or may not have, but that completely changes in the second level. The second level of dreaming is your deep personal unconscious. Now here's where things start to get really interesting and very symbolic. The second dream level deals with the information that's in your deep personal unconscious. This can be parts of your shadow self, parts of you that you have repressed and aren't even aware of. This level is highly symbolic and highly archetypal. At this level, things don't usually mean what they seem to mean. If you're dreaming about a doctor at this level, it's most likely not because you may have a doctor's appointment, it may be because you need to do some intense personal healing. If you're dreaming about your mother, this is actually a symbolic representation of the motherly side of yourself. At this level, most things that appear are representations of your own psyche. Your mother doesn't really represent your mother, it represents the motherly side of you. If you see a child crying, it doesn't actually represent a child crying, but the childlike part of you that perhaps isn't getting enough attention. Maybe you're overworked and your mind is trying to tell you that you need to make more room for play and to nurture the childlike side of yourself. At this level, the dreams are highly archetypal, but each of these archetypes are represented by things in your life. The archetype of healing and nurturing may be represented by your mother. The archetype of your childlike self may be represented by a crying child. This level is highly archetypal and symbolic, but it's clothed by your personal unconscious, and the symbols and archetypes will appear to you through people and events that you know and happen in your life. And the dreams at this level will be pushing you towards unity. They will be symbolically showing you the different parts of your psyche that are fractured and need to be integrated. Things that you need to pay attention to so that you can be whole. Parts of your psyche that need to be integrated. A dream that I had at this level had to do with me inside of my house. But my house was a symbolic representation of my life and my mind as a whole. Suddenly there was a new room in this house, and in this new room was filled with things that I wanted. But in order to get to that room, I had to make an extremely difficult decision. And this was reflective in my life as I stepped into a new phase where I was able to have new experiences, but I had to make a very difficult decision and possibly sever a connection that I had to be able to reach that new phase or reach that room in my dream. Now, this is only the second level. We haven't even reached the fourth level, which is the most insane, but let's move to the third level. And the third level is the level of the collective unconscious. The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung said, "The collective unconscious appears to consist of mythological motifs or primordial images." Now, this level is similar to the previous one in that it's symbolic and will be moving you to unity and wholeness, and highly archetypal. The difference between this level and the last is that there will be less references to your personal unconscious. That means you will meet highly archetypal characters that you've never met before. You'll be in exotic locations. Everything will be highly symbolic. You may find yourself in a castle. You may encounter a wizard. You may have to slay a dragon. These are all the archetypal motifs that have been generated through the thousands of years of human consciousness. Instead of encountering your mother, you may encounter the Great Mother or Gaia. Think of all the archetypal imagery on the tarot cards and different motifs and narratives in fairy tales or even religions. All this different archetypal imagery is embedded in the collective unconscious. So at this level, you may have dreams about slaying dragons or marrying a princess. Again, at this level, it's highly symbolic. Marrying a princess may have to do with you needing to get in touch with your feminine side. These deeply meaningful archetypal dreams stick with you for the rest of your life. It'll be the type of dream that you'll stay thinking about days and weeks and years afterwards. And finally, we reach the fourth level, the deepest level, the most insane level. And this is the level of the universal collective unconscious. At this level, it is now an experience of archetypal patterns that are no longer clothed through your personal experiences or even the experiences of humanity, but set apart from all that, stripped and bare. Very few people get to this level. This level is extremely hard to describe, but at this point, it may not even seem like a dream anymore. What you may experience takes on a form of the other, or almost alien-like, or just pure mathematical patterns, fractals and shapes changing. It'll feel very much like you're having a communication with an intelligence. It feels extremely similar to a DMT trip. I'll give you a brief example of an experience that I had in the fourth dream level. I was having a lucid dream in the third dream level, and suddenly a dream character appeared, and this dream character was extremely out of place. It was a blue entity, and the color that it was a color beyond description. It didn't match any of the other portions of the dream. It seemed extremely out of place. So this blue entity within the third dream level approached me and touched me. And as soon as it touched me, I became paralyzed, fell over, and everything went black. And then within a black void, I began to experience brilliant mathematical patterns. And there was a communication and a passing of information happening. This level, the fourth level, the deep, universal, collective unconscious, is extremely strange and doesn't even feel like a dream anymore. In fact, upon waking from an experience like this, while your eyes are still closed, even though you're awake, you may very well continue to have closed eye visuals as you experience mathematical patterns changing What's happening during a dream state is that you are communicating with your own mind. And these archetypal patterns are taking on the different clothing of whatever dream level you may be at. At the fourth level of dreaming, you are experiencing archetypal patterns in their full otherness. At the third level, those archetypal patterns take on the clothing, so to speak, of human motifs, symbols, and narratives. At the second level, it takes the clothing of your personal unconscious, people that you may know, and events in your life. So at the fourth level may be the pure idea or the mathematical experience of healing, love, and nurture. At the third level, that may take on the appearance of Gaia, or the Great Mother. At the second level, that may take on the appearance of your mother. And this all may be happening because your mind may symbolically be telling you that you need to have more nurturing in your own life, that you need to tap into the nurturing side of yourself. Now, if you aren't familiar with some of the terms I use, like archetypes and the collective unconscious, check out this video here where I get into detail, and check out more of my videos on dreams. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to turn on all notifications if you enjoy my work. Support on Patreon so I can continue to create. A big shout out to all the supporters on Patreon. You guys are amazing. My name is Morg and I am Hyperion. Hail New Terra.